you're back. I wanted to ask whether there was a space around here dedicated to training. I wouldn't want to disturb anyone during my shooting practice. Don't worry, I'm not picky about my surroundings. How noisy or crowded a place might be, those factors are inconsequential. I'm not easily affected by my external environment. Most importantly, I've found no threats to our survival in this place. You've done well. Think nothing of it. I should be the one thanking you for keeping this place so safe. In any case, thank you for inviting me to this place. I'll be staying here for a little longer. I hope my being here doesn't inconvenience you. Its mechanical principles and aesthetic design are both quite commendable. This place is truly eye-opening. In any case, thank you for inviting me to this place. Ah, that's entirely up to you. Different people have different senses of humor. I don't know what you find amusing, so it wouldn't be appropriate for me to give you an answer. In any case, thank you for inviting me to this place. Of course. Anything you want to talk about? Well, before I met Navia... You wanted to hear a story from before I became a duelist, correct? I see no harm in starting there. Anyway, before I met Navia, I lived with my master. She was a powerful and strict woman who had a big impact on many parts of my childhood. I was once terrified of monsters that are active at night. I felt like I could never predict or anticipate their attacks. So, Master tied a piece of cloth around my eyes, pushed me into the woods, and announced that I was surrounded by a horde of monsters. She did this to teach me to react and respond to them with only sound and instinct as my guide. I used to be afraid of being alone. I could never fall asleep without her by my side. So, for quite some time, she forced me to train every day until I felt like I could no longer lift my arms. Only then would she allow me to rest. As a result, seeing her face after I woke up soon turned into a nightmare rather than a comfort. Before I knew it, I had become as tough as her. Were I to take on my own apprentice, I'm not sure I could think of a better way to train them, and that thought scares me most of all. My work as a champion duelist. In my profession, work and fun are two elements that rarely converge. I've heard many colleagues describe how, on their way home from work, they're often dragged into cafes by their soon-to-be opponents and forced to listen to an endless list of grievances. What a waste of time. I'm very thankful something like that has never happened to me. I wouldn't go asking around for stories about our line of work. The profession of a duelist may seem dramatic and full of unexpected twists, but in most circumstances, it's usually the result of hypocrisy and dark human desires. The type of stories that will only leave you disappointed. How about a game inspired by the practice of duels? It's pretty simple. We'll use the fatometer to determine the rules of the duel and the weapons we can use. I used to play this a lot with my master, although back then we just rolled a die. Then, unfortunately, you have to fight with your hands and feet tied. Of course, but that only applies to duels held before a court of law to defend someone's honor. The duels in this game are meant to improve a marechaussee hunter's ability to survive in the wild. As a hunter, there are times when your arm or leg might be out of commission due to injury, but you have to be able to keep fighting. Never stop thinking about how to secure victory. That's what my master taught me. Once, after 2 very unlucky rolls, she was forced to fight with a small tree branch as her only weapon. In the end, I still lost. In any case, the randomness of it all can really help you test your limits. If you lose, just start over and roll again. So, what do you think? Ready to play around? The look of determination in your eyes says more than you know. I like it. Let's begin. The loser owes the winner a meal. Then congratulations. You get to use the weapon of your choice and negate one lethal hit. Your opponent would have to land 2 hits on you to win. Of course. But that only applies to duels held before a court of law to defend someone's honor. Even with preparation and luck on your side, get too confident, and even the greatest of hunters can still suffer defeat. A critical success can often be what leads to a critical failure. My luck is pretty good, so I've had my fair share of good rolls in these games. Even so, when I fought against Master, I often lost in the moments when I was most assured of victory. Prey is most easily caught when it believes itself invincible. That's what my master taught me. In any case, the randomness of it all can really help you test your limits. If you lose, just start over and roll again. Good morning. I hope you find success in your endeavors today. Good night. I hope you're able to get some good rest. This place appears quite safe, so I don't think I'll need to keep watch tonight.
你回来了，我想问问你有没有专攻训练的场所？我担心在这里练习打靶会吵到别人。要来玩有关决斗的游戏吗？很简单，用命运试数牌来决定决斗的规则和使用的武器。我以前和师傅常玩，不过那时用的是骰子。那么恭喜你，你可以选择自己最顺手的武器，外加1次无视致命攻击的机会。我要击中你2次才能赢。的确，但那是审判庭上用来自证名誉的决斗。这个游戏是用来锻炼竹影猎人野外生存能力的，但有时就算运气再好，准备的再充分，优秀的竹影猎人也还是会因麻痹大意而败在魔物手下。大成功反倒有可能成为大失败的伏笔。我运气不算差，在游戏中经常投出好点数，却常常在自以为获胜的时候被师傅反杀。猎物在自以为是的时候才最容易捕获，这是师傅教给我的。不论如何，这都是一个充满随机性的游戏，尝试一下自己极限也未尝不可。输了马上重来就行。怎么样，你准备好了吗？你的眼神比你自认为的更加坚定，我欣赏。那就开始吧，输了的请吃饭。
Hello there. It's nice to see you again. Sweet spot you got here. Thanks for inviting me. Sure do. It's great. I'd like to think I'm a flexible guy who can adapt to any environment. Never mind one as pleasant as this. I can tell. Some people like to go out and have fun. Others prefer to create a comfy space for themselves at home, where they can enjoy some peace and quiet. People enjoy life in different ways, but both approaches are equally valid. You know, this place is real roomy. There are houses and buildings, sure, but there's also lots of open space. You could build a bunch of different areas, each with a unique design. That way, it'd feel like we were camping in a new place every night. I'd even help out if you wanted. Truth is, I'm fully furnished with ideas as we speak. No, don't say that. I prefer being out adventuring too, so I try to keep things simple at home. But even then, my pad isn't nearly as neat as this. You know, this place is real roomy. Yeah, sure, let's do it. Things were getting quiet around here, you know? Just as well. There's something I wanted to ask. In your experience, what preparations would I need to make before visiting a newly excavated desert ruin? Not yet. This question's purely hypothetical. Most of the members of the Temple of Silence spend their time at our base, researching and watching over our ancient technologies. But there are times when we must investigate external locations. I try not to miss out on those opportunities. Really? Is my intel wrong then? You know, so much of the desert remains a mystery, even to people who lived there a long time. Sometimes, we find our path blocked by a bunch of mechanisms before we can even get inside the ruin. Take the area around the mausoleum of King Deshret, for example. That area has the highest concentration of ruins related to King Deshret. It's also where investigation teams are liable to encounter the most trouble. It looks like nothing more than a swath of empty desert, but it's packed to the gills with invisible walls. We spent enormous amounts of efforts to uncover the expanse of the ruins, only to then discover that determining their height was the real issue. Later on, a team member suggested bringing some of that invisible material back with us, and using it to build an invisible labyrinth around the Temple of Silence to ward off intruders. Hey, do I seem like that sort of person to you? But I'll admit, we were thinking along the same lines. It's just, I wasn't sure our people could navigate a labyrinth like that, so I didn't bring it up. In the end, my concerns turned out to be valid, and we scratched the idea. Don't mention it. Even if you don't count that labyrinth, I can assure you that the desert's not hurting for mysteries. That's the experienced adventurer aura I expected. So, are you familiar with the differences in climate between various regions in the desert, too? Take the area around the mausoleum of King Deshret, for example. Oh, you bet I do. A whole list. But I didn't want to step on your toes, seeing as this is your place and all. That maybe we could build a campsite? Really? Awesome! Okay, let me see. First, we'll need at least 2 tents. The first one's for resting. We'll put thick cloth up around the walls to keep any noise out. We could even use that one for research or to organize our documents. The other tent will be a space to chat and play games. We could put picnic supplies and chairs near the entrance. The weather here seems pretty nice, so we shouldn't need any rain or wind protection. Then, I guess the only thing left would be adding some adventure to this place. No matter how beautiful the scenery, standing back and looking at it's gonna get old sometimes. You've gotta get out there and enjoy it. And if there were mechanisms that we could use to jump, run, climb, or glide around this place, that would be the cherry on top. Install stuff like that, and whoosh, nothing here would be off limits. Ah, you mean that little finch with the nice smile? Perfect. I've actually talked to her already. All that stuff she knows about housekeeping. Super impressive. I couldn't get her to tell me about all her contraptions, but I understand. Every organization has its secrets. The Temple of Silence is like that too. Don't worry. I'll find a way. Perfect. Glad to have your stamp of approval. Well, I'll get designing then. I'll let you know when the blueprints are ready. You can invite your other friends over once it's done. The more the merrier. Morning. Today's a new day. Let me think. Should I scout out a new hiking route or just find somewhere to camp nearby? Good night. Oh, hey, you're up pretty late. Still got plans then? I'm not tired either. How about we go out for a bit? If we run into trouble, I'll protect you. Or you can protect me. Whatever works.
你好，你好，又见面了。这里环境真不错，感谢你邀请我来。有好多呢。考虑到这里是你的住处，我没敢贸然动手。可能，也许，在这里建一处营地。真的？那就太好了。我想想，首先至少要有2座帐篷，一处用于休息，要配最厚实的布料，才能保证隔音效果。除了用来睡觉，在里面做研究、整理资料也不错。另一处用于闲聊和游戏，门口摆放成套的野餐用具和躺椅。你这里天气一直不错，倒是不太需要遮风挡雨。那接下来就是游戏机关了。 再好的风景，干看着也有些无聊，对吧？更重要的是人在其中做些什么。如果有用来跳高、跑步或者攀岩、飞行的装置，那就有意思多了。有了那些东西，你也可以呼一下上去，哗一下下来，唰一下远去。哦，是说那位笑容很和蔼的团雀小姐吗？这个好办，我跟她聊过了，她好厉害，懂得很多管家的好办法。就是有些机关技术我摸索不透，不过我能理解，缄默之殿也是这样，每个组织都会保留一些不能外传的秘密。没关系，我也有我的办法。有你的首肯，我就满足了。等我先设计一下，出了图纸之后再找你商量。如果能邀请其他朋友来玩，应该会更热闹吧。
Whenever I go to the Grand Bazaar, I head straight to the food stalls, grab some snacks and a drink, and then I take my time checking the place out. But some shops are off limits if you have your hands full. A carpet shop, for example. How about this? We split the snacks. That way, we can finish them off quickly and then get shopping.
In my younger years, I learned a fair amount about botany. As a result, I can now differentiate between edible and non-edible roots, identify poisonous fruits, and create simple dyes from the things I forage. The plants in this flower bed are harmless varieties created to lift people's spirits. You may enjoy them without worry.
Wow, wow, wow! You've got yourself a pro-grade grill right there. Temperature, rotation speed, it all looks pitch perfect. Ah, I've got it! How about we use these spices, grill up some steaks, and stuff them in a wrap?
Now that I think of it, the Maison Cardinalise set up an archive room to store information related to duels. A complete case file would include the cause of the duel, the verdict rendered, the persons and duelists involved, and, of course, the final outcome of the duel. I've never felt the need to look up anything there myself. I believe all my duelist colleagues feel the same way. It's best to leave the record-keeping to the gestionnaires. They seem to actually enjoy that kind of work.